So good evening, good afternoon actually everyone, all of you, for the special SPJIMR Part B session. What I'm going to take you through, guys, is now that you have got the call, the best thing about SPJIMR is if you get that 85 percentile and of course the individual percentile cutoffs for the sections, you have as good a chance of making it to the final as anybody, even with a 99.99 percentile. And that's what makes this, the form and the interview very, very essential and very, very important. In fact, only when you kind of send this form will you be able to, choose the date of your interview. And typically the date of interview is in the middle of January for the first round. And mostly the interview will be in Mumbai for all of you. There will also be a second round. There will also be a second round in February. Those of you who cannot go in Jan, you can comfortably go in February, which will be along with the percentile round, which is the shortlist round after the CAT results are out. Will there be any advantage or a disadvantage if you go early? Frankly, understanding SPJIMR, no. But if you go early in Jan, the fact that you will be seeing the campus itself, you can make up your mind whether or not to look at this as a very, very serious option for you if they are calling you to the campus. If they're not calling you to the campus and this entire thing is going to happen online, then it doesn't matter when it's going to be in January or in February in that sense of the word. Now, the interesting thing about SPJIMR, and it's been there for the last 2 decades, is that you have to prepare for the interview, all right, but to a large extent, a lot of questions that are going to be asked will be to do with the form that you're going to fill up. SPJIMR is one institute which would not probably insist too much on your undergraduation, learning of undergraduation, or the questions from your UG, that is your degree or engineering or whichever else degree that you have done. Having said that, it's not a guarantee that they will not ask you those questions, but very likely that a lot of it will be on the HR side of it, the human resource side of it, the psychological side of it, the personality side of it. And that's the reason why the questions that are given to you in SPJIMR for the Part B, and it's been the same questions for a very long time, except one question. I'm going to talk about that too. I think they have very, very clearly maintained the same types of questions over the so many years. So let me take you through what is it that you need to write in each of the sections, in each of the questions. Make sure that you do this. Get in touch with your mentors. For them to kind of see. The only thing that you should be worried about is the inconsistency, if any, of your answers. Other than that, anything and everything is a right answer, or there's nothing like a wrong answer. Everything else is a right answer as far as it is genuine from your point of view. Keep that in mind when we are talking about SPJIMR. Now, let me take you through very, very quickly the first few questions that come. The second question is the one which is difficult. This is a very, very standard question where you need to do it in 30 words. Describe yourself as seen by your parents, siblings, teachers, friends, colleagues, manager in 5 distinct statements. This is again something which they all ask, and this has been the same question that they've asked for so long. What they are looking at, when you look at a family, friends, teachers, colleagues, and manager, is that each one of them looks at you differently. A teacher looks at the academic side of you, along with the academic integrity. A colleague looks at you as a team player, a player who can be respected and be relied upon. A manager sees you as a person who can be counted on for a job to be done. A person who puts up his hand and or his or her hand and says, hey guy, hey leader, don't worry, I will take care of you. I'll take care of the problem. A friend looks in you as a person who is there, a value system, a person who is always possibly there for you in times of need, in times of giving the right suggestions, being critical at the right times, as well as taking the right kind of a feedback kind of things. And a family, of course, looks at you as a shining light in their life as such, the kind of values that they would have kind of inculcated in you, and whether those things get reflected in you or not. So when you write these answers, 30 words is 3 sentences max, you are expected to bring out each type of an emotion or a personality in you in each of these things. How does a teacher look at me? What does your teachers, your professors look at you? If they find that you are very innovative, great. If you are a person who is less academically prone, that's fine still. But if despite less academically prone, if you have been able to kind of come out with stupendous statistics in terms of marks, what kind of a person? A person who is not a hardworking person, but as a very smart working person, a person who likes understanding the subject, but not necessarily a person who kind of by hearts the subject, or whatever that may be. I'm just giving you examples. Please understand, you are expected to answer very specifically about yourself, because everything else that you write, I'm going to put it in such a way that it's easy for me to. There's a lot of light behind. Just a second. Yeah, I'm going to take it up like this. So here is what I'm going to tell you. That what is it that they're looking at? It is something like this. How does individually each one of them see, and be as honest and genuine as possible. But in each of these things, like I said in the very beginning, you are expected to come out with your personality from various perspectives, values, value systems. Therefore, the family and friends will take care of that. Teachers, academic, colleagues, the kind of, I would say, teamwork or reliability or taking initiative, etc. kind of thing. Similarly, for manager, taking initiative, taking leadership, taking responsibility, taking that confidence that somebody can take care of you, etc. kind of things. So I want you to understand that in that sense of the word. The second one is a very interesting question. Extremely interesting question, because when you look at it, state 10 random things about you, statements about you, things about you. A few examples are given. And another life, I was an RJ. I own a t-shirt that says, or whatever it might say, I wish I was a bird. I believe it's a one life, YBC is serious, etc. kind of things. What are they looking at it? There are two things I feel that they're looking at it at the end of the day. You can be wacky, creative. At the same time, it's a kind of a reflection on who you are also to a large extent. Please realize, not everybody, like, for example, I'll just take the second, not that you write this. I own a t-shirt that says, whatever, the difference between the way to success is through you. Let's say something like this is there. Success, the you is removed, and this statement comes in with that kind of a tagline. And I wear it. What it does mean is that I am a person thinking that way. Otherwise, I wouldn't really wear it. Such kind of things. If you look at it, typically, if you have ever seen me wearing a t-shirt, it's absolutely a plain t-shirt, except when there's a CL t-shirt. For me, it's a different kind of a person that I am. I don't like to wear anything on my sleeve, neither confidence on my sleeve nor my insecurities on my sleeve. I would like to be a kind of a private person. Let's say I am, or I'm not, whatever. What I'm trying to explain is, you can make any kind of statements, who you are. Do not worry about, I'm really saying this, do not worry about what they are, deducing from this. But here is what I will say. Write whatever you want. I can help you deduce what kind of a connection it is be as a person that you are, as the kind of a person that you are. Then there are six more questions they've asked you. The first one, state one experience of your formative years. Now, here is where lots of people talk about a lot of things, but here is what I would say. Please understand, they are very, very clearly saying, state one experience, something which has changed the way you looked at life. For example, I'll give you an example. One thing which changed my perspective is, I'm being at 18, exactly at 18. My getting through an engineering entrance examination. In my entire family at that point of time, nobody even thought about getting into engineering. First, forget about getting a rank. I had a 3-digit rank and a very early 100 odd rank kind of things. That gave me a complete change in the way I looked at life itself. Till that point of time, I used to think that I was like just about an ordinary person. Not that I am any extraordinary right away, but it put things into perspective that look, ordinary or extraordinary is only a matter of mind. You put in effort, you will reap the benefits kind of things. So some such kind of things. Now, this was exactly at 17, 18 years. Therefore, you may not want to use it, but it could be at a 6th class, 7th class, 8th class, 9th class. There are 5 such stories I can tell you, which have made me who I am. One such other story that I can talk to you about my experiences when I failed in mathematics in my 7th standard pre-final exam. Yeah, there was a pre-final exam at that point of time. And when I failed, it was so disappointing because in Andhra Pradesh, at that point of time, Andhra was a combined state. There was a board exam for the 7th standard also. I'm talking about 1980, 84? Yeah, that's very, very long back, guys. When I failed in the pre-final exam, I went to the teacher, begged her, ma'am, please 8 marks. I actually got 34 marks and I wanted to pass with 35 because I thought that if I pass in pre-final, I'll pass in the final too. I went and begged her, ma'am, please 1 mark de do mujhe. She was very, very angry with me. She was also my class teacher. She was also my maths teacher. She kind of turned around and said, ARKS, and I was called ARKS all the time in my life because it was a long name that I had. ARKS, you deserve to fail. I think you should come back to the 7th class again. You are not expected to, you deserve to fail because you never studied, such kind of a very, very rude statement she made that day. As it happened, it was the most devastating statement made by a person whom you revere. You were in love with that lady at that point of time. When you're 7th class, you're in love with your teachers. I don't know whether you are, I was. And I used to look up to her and I used to feel sad that I was failing in mathematics. And this lady turns around and says, like, I'm good for nothing. She actually said that. That was the turning point in my life. From there, never after, forget about that exam, never after, not only I failed, I topped my university, I topped 8th, 9th, 10th in school, 11th and 12th, I was very, very good. And my 4 years of engineering, there were 4 math papers. I was topping that also at that point of time. And I used to teach mathematics to kids right from my 10th class. And today also I do that for a living. That's a complete change in my life, complete change of personality, complete change of the way I looked at life, saying that somebody has said, look, I'm good for nothing. That's what an experience is. One experience, such kind of an experience. I'm sure, and this is very dramatic, you might think it's not. There are so many such experiences I have. If you kind of look at your life, you will find them on a continuous basis. And that's what you need to look at it. Okay. There are questions coming in very nicely. Do the 5 distinct statements, should it be in first person or third person? First person, Saptarshi. Rishika. First person. The first 5 sentences, if you're asking, it's first person. So do the 5 distinct statements used to be in the full sentence or bullets? 5 distinct statements can be bullets, Anandita. Ratio of calls for interviews. Yeah, but why do you need that question? Yeah, you have a call, Sakshi, and whoever else is asking this question. Ratio of calls for interviews or admission. I do understand this question. I realize that question is there in your mind. Half the times, when that question is asked, you are so goddamn afraid of life. Why are you afraid of an interview? Why should you be afraid of an interview? Everybody gets a call. You also got a call. Go there and bloody crack it. Go there and talk to them as if it's nothing that I could care. The moment you start thinking that this is my be all and end all, if I don't get into this SPJIMR interview, my life is all messed up, etc. Then why do you want to be a manager? Why should somebody else help you? I'm not saying don't look at all those things. I understand the statistical importance of this, guys, but that's the first statement I made. And for every one of you listening to me, guys, if you have a call from any goddamn institute in this country, you have equal chances of making it that as anybody else. Yes, somebody who has a very, very bad 10th, 12th and degree scores and no work experience might have to put in a little more effort and be a little more confident when you go into an interview as against a person who has a 99.99 percentile. But please understand that guy who has a 99 percentile has worked his backside off to kind of reach there. Just understand that. Okay, see, I have to be parliamentary in my language, therefore I'm being nice. This is also getting recorded. But what I'm trying to say, guys, stop talking negative. Stop talking about hope mujhe mil jayega. Yaar dekho, kabhi hope se jaoge. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm saying this of 20 years of experience. You cannot go into an interview saying that hope they will ask you questions which you want. Hope that they will not make a mess out of your interview kind of things. Go there saying that, look, mujhe jo aata hai, main wo bolunga. Nahi aata hai to kuch nahi kar sakta uske bare mein. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another interview. There is another thing in life. 40 more years to live for your career itself, or maybe 60, or maybe 100. Don't know. So don't think about it. I'm sorry if I've been a little curt in that. It's very important. But having said that, yes, I can understand the sectional cutoffs. I think 75 percentile in each of the sections and 85 percentile overall. If you do not have in the CAT exam, then even they will probably not even take your interview because that is the minimum cutoff. Okay, so Saptarshi is my colleague and friend. Any other questions coming in? Please answer. Please do put it on the screen for me to answer. I will not lose the thing. Okay, here. The next question. At SPJIMR, we believe demonstrating courage and heart is an important way to live. Describe an experience where you got an opportunity to either showcase either and how it impacted you. Courage is independence, different thinking, action. Heart is empathy, contribution. Both indicate your values. You need to look at one of these things because understand it's a 150 words thing. When did it happen? How did you go about, really helping that person or taking the decision to kind of, when nobody else was taking that initiative, you picked up that initiative and reached there kind of things. So that's what courage and heart is. You don't have to look at it. Both of these things, if there are two such experiences, please go ahead and put it together. Please understand that this is where I come back and say a lot of it is about your life. It could be your school, your college, your work experience, social, professional, any kind of a life. There will be chances where you would have shown courage. There will be chances when you are shown empathy. Let's discuss. You write it down on that. See, again, there is nothing, once again, if you notice, right or wrong answer in this. All HR answers, none of them will be right or wrong. It's about why are they asking these questions? They would really want to know you. They really, really want to know you. And since they want to know you, you please work on that is what I would say. Similarly, share an experience that changed your perspective and how. There's something very, very similar that I've talked about in my 7th class math. Has happened to me in 10th class also. It has happened to me in my degree also. It has happened to me in engineering also, in IIM Calcutta also, later on also. I mean, it keeps happening for all of us. If only you are ready to go back and look at the success and the failure as it is. By the way, success or failure need not be in the eyes of somebody else. The success or a failure is your success or your failure. Your success of what you perceive it as a success, or what is your failure as you perceive it as a failure, which is very, very, very important according to me. No, Anandita, you will not get through round 2. You will not be considered for round 2. If you do not make it to round 1, you will not be considered after that. In fact, SPJIMR round 1 is an elimination round. If you're eliminated, you're out. Only in round 2, after you get the thing, then all your 10, 12 degree CAT scores or everything matter. Now you have a chance to go into it. It does not matter what is the background of anybody who is sitting in the session. It is only those 6 questions that they will ask you approximately which will matter. And one of them could be explaining what you have rewritten on these questions too, on the questionnaire too. Okay, so share an experience that changed your perspective. Like I said, similar kind of formative years, something else you could pick up in your 7th class, 10th class kind of things, or degree for that matter. One of them can come back and say, hey, listen, I did not get a single shortlist for when I was in the final year of engineering, not even one single shortlist, because my percentage was only 64.99 and the remaining the minimum cutoff required was 65. But then I realized my folly and I went ahead and did a machine learning program. And today I work for one of the best machine learning firms in the world, kind of things, whatever. I mean, I'm just giving you an idea, saying that, look, you learned the importance of studies. And that is when you prepared for your CAD. And today you are probably getting a 99+ percentile. How do you process this? How do you express that? That is what a sharing of experiences. Then next one will be, of course, the 3 more questions. Were you a part of any team which did not achieve its desired goals? What were your learning experiences from this? Now here, this question is a very simple question. This question, you can pick it up from school. You can pick it up from your engineering or degree that you have done. You can pick it up from your work that you have done, work experience. It could be also at the social level. For example, I keep saying this again and again whenever you hear me out, that there was a time when we conducted, Ganesh Chaturthi at home with the help of friends. We were a part of a team to do Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations in our locality, in our mohalla types, in our locality. Has it reached the goals? We thought we will go with 2 things. I mean, get some 10,000 rupees of chanda and then do a fantastic 11 days job. But what did we do? We did not reach, forget about 10,000, we didn't reach 3,000. So what? We had to scale down operations. But then what did we do to kind of improve the 11 days? Whatever. It could be a part of a team. It could be your job that you have done. Pick it up. When I say learning is more about what were the shortcomings because of not achieving the goals. You should be able to figure out, this is something which what they're looking at. What they're looking at in this question. They are looking at in this question कि भाई ये बंदे को पता है क्या कि इसमें कमियां क्या है? Meaning, are you in a position to pinpoint the shortcomings that you have to achieve the goal? And if you can figure out, yaar, ye shortcomings tha, so the learning will be when I do the next time around, similar kind of a plan, I would take care of this learning. I take care of this understanding of the shortcoming. That is what they're looking at it. Whether you have the ability to introspect and understand your shortcoming for the goal not getting reached. So they're only looking at that. Can you understand the reason for the shortcoming? First, what is the shortcoming? Reason for the shortcoming? And how will you bridge the gap, or how could you have done this had you known that this kind of a problem happened? That is the question. That is the type of a expectation that they have on question number 6. Then look at question number 7. Describe a situation in which you believed a certain approach was morally right, but your point of view was in conflict with others' viewpoints. How did you handle this dilemma? It could be as simple as that there was a municipal corporation guy who came to you and asked for some money, and everybody else said it's the easiest way out. Give him the money and get out of it and solve your problem. Let's say, I'm just giving you an example. You decided that that's going to be succumbing to the pressure of the municipal corporation guy, or it could be any government guy, or it could be anybody else who's asking for chanda or bribe or whatever. And you were in conflict with the rest of your team members, or with the rest of your family members, or with the rest, with your manager for that matter. How did you deal with this? There are two ways of answering this question. First and foremost, you should describe the problem. Then what did you do? You went away, you went on your own, or did you also succumb to the pressure because of 10 people saying yes to it, and you were probably a dissenter, but you continued with it, or you thought that this was the easier way out? Whatever it is, if you, I'm saying, how did you handle this dilemma? How did you kind of resolve this dilemma? And one extra statement you can say, how would you resolve this dilemma today? Maybe 10 years back, it was a different dilemma that you've realized, but how would you realize it today, or how would you handle it today? That is what they're going to ask you. Last but not the least, this is the 8th question. Describe a person who you would like to work or does not like to work, do not like to work, live with or do not like to live with, and why. This can be more like a role model. This is again a general question. If it's a person, you need to describe the characteristics of the person working with, and it could be your colleagues, it could be your friends, it could be your manager, it could be your girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever that may be. But I'm saying, try to keep it, if possible, a professional approach. Why is that important? Is because, again, this is an opportunity to tell the interviewers that this is the way I think. This is the kind of a person I am. Because I'm of this kind of a person, I would like to have that kind of a person also in my life, both in terms of working or in terms of living as such. Once again, what they're asking, here again they're asking you, what are the values that you consider very, very important? What are the values you consider very, very important? Okay, so these are the 8 questions. What I would like you to do is, work on these 8 questions one by one. Saptarshi, if there are more questions, you can post them. But
sure, sir.
Make sure, thank you. Make sure that you write these things today, tomorrow itself. Send it to your mentors. The only thing that I'm saying why mentors are important at this stage is because they will at least tell you. They may not change anything that you have written, but what they can do is they can tell you whether there is any kinds of inconsistency in what you have written. Okay, that's it from me from now. If there are no more questions, I can take it up on a WhatsApp for each one of you.